I'm John Grafft, and I love Chicago real estate. Between showings, I stop in my favorite places, talk with local business owners, and bring their story to you. This is my Chicago.
I was in and out in literally 2 minutes. It was absolutely insane.
That quick.
Oh, what?
I was in and out in 2 minutes. Like, I filled out paperwork and like going to this lady. The lady was like, "What's up?" And then I left. Like,
And they're like doing it now, so like we're not necessarily in Group C or Group B. We're in Group C. So my fiance is really clever with like figuring out how to like loopholes about stuff. So she finds out when like she's like on like notices for when they open up. They'll open up rounds of like 150 vaccines for the general public, but you got to get in there and like apply for it as fast as possible.
Got it.
So like she found out literally everybody who was in the room was applied for a vaccine in the next 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That's great. And as soon as we can get everybody on the staff vaccinated, then we can open up the patio because it'll be safe for the workers.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Do you still have to wear this though?
Yeah.
Even though you're vaccinated?
I assume we're going to be wearing our masks probably for the next like
year or two?
year or so.
5. I
Yeah,
don't
who
know.
knows? Who knows if it'll even go back to
And-
normal?
And it's the optics.
Yeah.
Like we've been in a few businesses. Some of them are like totally fine. We can do this unmasked. No restaurant has done that, but other businesses have. And I'm like, these are just optics for some people. Like they just want the public to see that we're towing the line.
Yeah, exactly. And
People
that,
are
that's
better
super
looking
important.
with masks on too.
We laugh
Agreed.
about it all the time. Yeah, for anyone
Everybody's
with pretty
like
eyes, this
hotter.
is their time to shine. They're hoodwinking people everywhere, catfishing everyone.
Yeah, right. I don't mind wearing a mask.
It's whatever.
It doesn't bother me. It's like it kind of helps me hide
Do
a
you
little
know
bit.
what he looks like?
No, let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see what you look like.
I want to see
My
what you
face?
look like.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like regular face.
Wow, not.
I think.
It's a good face. Great face.
Run of the mill.
So how'd you get this idea?
It's kind of just been brewing for a super long time. Like, I mean, like me and Stefan have been friends for 15, 20 years. And we always like would like joke around and like we kind of came up in the same atmosphere and like cooking and bars and fine dining and stuff like that. And while that was my focus for a long time, it kind of took me away from what was like me being me.
Huh.
And so I would try to like pepper my personality into like this Michelin environment, but you can only go so far with that because the expectation from the customers is always like they want like a pristine, like I go out there and I'm not wearing a chef coat and I have a lot of tattoos and you know
Painted fingernails.
yeah, paint my fingernails, whatever, and they're like, oh, this isn't a Michelin kitchen, but it's like, okay, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. What's
How-
a Michelin kitchen?
Right.
very
you know,
political
did you
almost.
like the
Yeah.
food? Did you enjoy the food? Did you have a good time when you were here, but you're worried about what I look like?
Yeah.
Or the things that I may say or the things that I may do. So always wanted to do this, and it one of my partners owns a restaurant called Turkey and the Wolf in New Orleans, and it's a sandwich shop. And so we talked about opening up a spot, and when Blackbird closed, which is the restaurant that I was at before this.
Oh, wow.
I've eaten there, by the way. Food is great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Like a while ago, but food is great.
Yeah, I was there
nonetheless.
for 10 years.
Yeah.
You did?
Were you there from the beginning?
No, it opened in 97. It felt like it.
How do you design a menu like that for a Michelin star restaurant?
I mean, it comes from like we're all products of our environment. So I have a lot of friends that are chefs, and we talk
love
about
that.
food, and we read a lot of cookbooks, and it's just like you kind of just it's like the ebb and flow of like what you want to do and what you have to do, and it all just turns into this like ideas that you have, and you put them on the plate and hope that people don't think they suck.
Wow.
And like you know, sometimes they did, and sometimes they didn't, and it is what it is.
What type of testing do you do before it actually hits the menu?
Well, we would make the food and taste it with each other. Like a lot of kitchens, and like that with that standard would like go through a different process. But I always thought that it was more beneficial to everybody that worked there if you had everybody taste it, or like you had a couple people taste it, the people that you trust, or whatever it may be, and you kind of just collaborate and put the dish on together. I think that more like the hive mentality, or more people will have a better outtake on something as opposed to just one person being like, this is good and I think it's good. You're not cooking for yourself.
That's why I asked, because I can imagine that the owner or the GM, whoever's managing it, might try to rule that infrastructure and try to be the decision maker for a decision like that.
Well, I was the executive chef.
Okay, so you
Oh,
you
wow.
have full call over that.
I was in charge of the restaurant.
Okay,
Everything.
So
everything.
Yeah.
when you left,
General manager worked for me.
Okay, got it. So that's that hierarchy. I didn't know that.
Executive chef is the honcho.
Okay.
Besides like partners or owners.
Yeah.
But the partners or owners that we had were hands off. That's why they made me the executive chef.
Got it. Okay. So that's the money side.
Were they even in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗏 was one of the owners, and he owns Blackbird, 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗏𝗢𝗏, Publican,
Okay.
Publican Quality Meats, all that stuff.
He's the man.
He's the man. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the guy that brought me into the position that I was in, and
Huh.
yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and it was fun like making tasting menus and like seeing if I could kind of have like a healthy juxtaposition between being myself and supporting whatever the Michelin clientele wanted.
Yeah.
But
Did you earn them the Michelin star, or was it already a Michelin restaurant?
It was, but they come to the restaurant once a year, and
Okay.
you have to reobtain the star every year.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, I was the chef
sustained
there
that.
from
Yeah.
2015 to 2020, so I got it all 5 of those years.
What were you
Wow.
doing before Blackbird?
I was living in California, just kind of like working at random bistros and exploring life and trying to figure myself out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So did you go straight into being a chef here, or were you doing that there too?
I was doing it there too.
Okay.
So I went to junior college for culinary, and after I graduated, I moved to California to kind of like just see what a different cooking environment would be. Like California is totally different. Like Chicago, we have 100 seasons. California, they have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their produce and like the way that they grow things and the way they approach their menus is totally different. So I wanted to kind of go see what how I would react to being in a different cooking environment, and it was great. And I spent a couple years out there, and then when I came back, I staged. Like I knew that I wanted to get into the Michelin system, so I staged at all the Michelin restaurants in the city, and I ended up at Blackbird, and then I worked there for 5 years. And after 5 years of working there, they made me the chef, and then that was great.
We just found out about staging, right?
We just learned what that meant over with Derek at Pauly
Yeah.
G's.
Yeah.
And how long were you staging at the different restaurants?
It depends on the restaurant.
Okay.
Like some places will make you stay for a month. Some places you can stage for 1 day.
Oh,
Whole
wow.
month free.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
it's like a
But it was
requirement.
all
a requirement to
Yeah,
be there.
you can't stage there for less than a month at some restaurants. Some places, like if you go out of the country, you're
Especially
required to do more than a
Michelin.
month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Wow.
Did you always want to do this?
No. My mind changes. My mind changed since you got here.
So it's interesting hearing that. Let's say you would have spent the last 5 years at a non-Michelin restaurant. Do you think you would have still had the same level of confidence that you do today to kind of go on your own?
Probably not. It's one of those things. Like I don't even know if it's confidence, because I still don't consider myself super confident. But with experience comes relationships, and I'm fortunate enough to have met a lot of different people in the industry because I worked at a place like that. So that's how I met the people that own this, that are now my partners. That's why I have them as partners, and that's why we have this building. So it's like, if I didn't work at Blackbird, they probably wouldn't know who I was.
Because this is such an acquisition in terms of location and a place
Yeah.
to work from. This is great.
It's really great.
And so their business just went to a halt, and that's when
They were a bar.
Yeah.
So when COVID
Wow.
hit, you
Wow,
couldn't
wow,
have people
wow.
in a bar anymore. So he asked me if I wanted to do pop-ups here. So we started doing random pop-ups and just like cooking like burgers and like random stuff, and kind of following the mentality that we have right now of like kids.
Okay.
And it turned into, he's like, hey, people really like this. Can you make this work for a takeout model? And let's be partners. And it's like, sure. I was gonna look for a place to do this anyways. And this, I mean, like you said, we're right across the street from the park.
Yeah.
And we're on the corner. We're right next door to Lula. And
Yeah.
like I've known Jason for years.
Oh, wow.
Matthias is 2 doors down. Matthias merges. It's great. Super lucky.
Where do you live yourself?
Humboldt.
Humboldt.
Yep.
Easy to get over here. Easy to work
I
with?
could. We've walked here a couple times in 20 minutes. It takes me like 7 minutes to ride my bike.
Is
car,
it your
whatever it is.
bike?
No, that's that's his wife's bike.
So I was looking at the menu.
Take the damn thing home. She leaves it there.
It's been staying here this whole time.
No, she drove
Okay.
it here the other night because we were doing karaoke here with the staff.
Okay.
That's
what all this
so
stuff is.
fun.
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
like,
she's great at karaoke. You're doing that next time.
Oh
Just let
my
us
gosh.
know.
we want to like. That's what we're kind of getting prepped for the things that we can do when we open up.
Yeah.
Right now, just when we're closed on Mondays as of right now, but we're changing that next week.
Okay.
But
Oh.
Sundays was like, okay, we don't got to go to work tomorrow. Let's party. So we break down the kitchen and then we just, start smashing beers on our head and singing karaoke.
How'd you guys come up with this menu?
Most of it is like individual people. Like Jurassic has sandwiches on the menu. Matthew has sandwiches on the menu. Stefan does all the cocktails. We have a sandwich from my partner Mason on at his menu that we brought over here because the restaurant that he has over there has a lot of clout.
That was the top restaurant in 2017, right?
Yeah, he's been on
Yeah.
a lot of really good lists.
Wow.
I can't imagine what those sandwiches taste like. A sandwich is a
one
crazy thing
today?
to me. We're pumped
It's
for
very,
that. We're pumped for that.
it's like the most versatile thing ever.
Yeah, a sandwich can be so simple yet so good, and then
Yeah.
you could throw 20 ingredients in it, and it's still just as good. Like there's so much you can work with between two pieces of bread.
Yeah, yeah.
And are you
that.
guys
Yeah.
constantly developing new recipes? Is it a different
Yeah.
menu? How often?
Every week.
Really? You guys change the
every
menu that often?
week.
We don't change the entire menu. Like we have some things that stay on, but like we got 3 new sandwiches going on the menu this week. Like we try to change at least one thing or put a new special on every week because people don't want to see you stagnate. They'll come
Right.
in if there's something new, but if they've been here and they've had all this stuff, it's like, okay, there's other places that I could try something I haven't had, unless there's like so bonkers about it, they're like, I gotta have it again.
I agree with you. So when I go to a place, I usually get the same thing. Like I find a place where I love something and I go there for that.
Yep.
It's the only thing I get.
Yep.
I love a changing menu because once I've tried it all, I'm waiting for that next thing.
Right.
I'm waiting for you to put something else because you want another excuse to go there.
You
Exactly.
do.
Because you can get kind of set in your ways and where you go. And some people love to go to the same spots. I love to try new things.
Yep.
But you don't have to try new places. You can always just try the new thing at the place.
Yeah, hopefully we just hope that people like us and like what we're doing, and then if we continue to change stuff, they got something new they can try every time.
There's always an emotional tie to either to a menu or the place. Now more so to a menu because places don't offer any atmospheres anymore. So that is really brilliant that you're doing that. Yeah.
I didn't invent that.
Well, I think
No,
it's
the rotating model
Oh yeah.
of yeah.
putting things in, plugging them in and out.
Yeah.
I think it's great you've had so much success during COVID without having people here because I look at this venue and I think this is one of the coolest places I've seen.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even here while it was a bar, but looking around, you can already see you put your mark on it. I can't wait till
We
you guys
ate
open.
there.
We ate
Yeah,
next door,
little-
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, you guys are gonna quadruple on business as soon as you get home this place, at least.
As soon as we can start selling more booze.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know.
Spoke
How
about
did
that.
you find Big Kids?
I read about it.
So
When
you
you
got
guys
some
opened up, I
attention.
read about it, and I was like, I totally got it. I saw the drinks with like the Tang and the green high C.
Ecto Cooler.
Yeah. I saw all that. I was like, I have to come here. I have to hit you guys up and do it. You were very responsive. We've been talking for like a month now.
Yeah.
And just trying to come here and do this. That's how I found out about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like, I think, do you think because you were an executive chef and went off on your own, you just got like this like social media attention, like, whoa, he left to go do his own thing?
I think so. I think that people are interested in stuff like that, especially like there's been 100 articles written about people that pivoted because of COVID. So like everybody's doing it. Like my friend Noah, he has Oriole,
Uh-huh.
a 2-star
Yeah.
Michelin restaurant. He opened a pizza place.
Where?
I read about that too.
Yeah, pizza friendly pizza.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Noah.
yeah.
Sando, yeah.
Yeah. We love that pizza.
That's great.
Oh yeah. And in the alley and the whole thing.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's fun to see people do like because it's like one of those things you
Crazy.
can try to continue to beat a dead horse, but at the end of the day, if you don't adapt, you're not going to survive. And like it was funny because it happened at a very like serendipitous time, or it was very serendipitous because I had lost my job. This is already something that I had planned on doing when I had the opportunity to do it, and then because I lost my job, the opportunity arose itself. So it's like, hey, whatever, man. The universe is pretty fucking cool.
Was it a
Sorry, I shouldn't. I won't swear.
No, be yourself.
Was it a very humbling experience, COVID? Like you just use the word, I lost my job,
Yeah.
but you didn't in a way, or what you did.
Well, it's one of those things like, I mean, I worked at Blackbird for 10 years. So it's like, I'd never had time off. So March hits,
Wow.
and then all of a sudden I'm literally sitting in my house for 2 months. Like when as
Oh,
a
you didn't
cook
even
or
do
as a chef or
takeouts.
as
Oh
a
my-
bartender or what people in the industry, you like rely on your 1 or 2 days off that you get to get everything that you need to done to find some sort of sanity. Then you go back to work and you're back in the grind. When you're sitting at your house for 2 months, some people for 8 months. You know, like there's people that are still unemployed because of
Yeah.
COVID. So it's like, it was very, very strange. It was yeah, man, it was strange.
What was it like dealing with the partners, dealing with the different pieces of the business aspect? What's it like navigating that and finding the right people to work with?
Well, it's another one of the, it goes back to what I said earlier, where I met two of my partners here that own this place are 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗪𝗢 and 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗓𝗧, and I knew them because they own other bars. They own the bar Stereo, they own Sportsman's Club, and I would go to those bars and I would know them through that, and so they would come into Blackbird. So they reached out to me with the opportunity to do pop-ups here, and so I already had a
It's
rapport
so
with them.
small.
Yeah, the
community?
industry. The
Yeah.
industry has a very, very small. It's a very tight knit community.
That's what we found. Everyone seems to know each other.
Yeah.
Every person we've talked to, and then someone, like, I'm going to ask you for an introduction to somebody too. And, like, that's just how it goes. That's how we've gotten these interviews, actually, how they keep the momentum going. Because
I
one
can
person's like,
introduce
you
you to
got to
Noah
talk.
if you want.
I'd love that. I've tried to reach out to him.
Jason.
Like, I think it'd be first.
He's very, very busy. But
Yeah, I imagine.
it wouldn't hurt. I mean, I gave you 100 people.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
There's so much good food here. And I think Chicago can be underrated in terms of the culinary experience you can have here. You talk to people that are in New York or on the West Coast and they're like, this is where it's at. I'm like, I don't know. And then you go to somewhere like Portland, and Portland has so many
Oh,
food carts and the
crazy.
food is out of control. And you're like, you don't even, like, where are you on the register?
I think it's the difference between like the East Coast and the West Coast and then the Midwest is that the Midwest has just as good of things, but we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah. We know.
But East Coast wants you to know that they're the best. West Coast is like, oh, we're on the West Coast, we're the best. Midwest is like, we're going to continue to do as good as we can and not have to boast about it because we don't give a shit.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
Here,
Yeah.
dollar beer.
Oh
Is that
God.
these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we even serve? No, we.
Is
I think
it-
on
is it
Mondays
for
we're,
staff
only?
I think we're going to sell them for $1 on Mondays. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh
I-
my God.
it's one of those things. Like I like everything on the menu.
Yeah.
Like
Aw.
anytime like anybody comes up with something, it's just like we eat it and then we're like, okay, this is going on the menu. This is awesome. We don't have to talk to anybody about it. It's just like, let's just put it on the menu.
Yeah.
Let's give other people this.
I love that. Just change it. Like,
Just
right
do whatever
now.
you want. Like who do I got to talk to?
Who creates the menu in terms of the graphics? Because
I do.
they look. You do?
Yeah.
Oh, look awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I do all like the drawings. I do everything.
Okay. Okay. Do you do some of your own
What?
artwork? Some of your tats too?
Oh no, I just have a lot of friends.
Okay.
A lot of friends that are tattoo artists.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
That's so cool.
What was the biggest surprise of opening this up? Because you never opened a restaurant before, right?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
What were some of the hardest things you went through? Some of the struggles?
It's hard to say because I think a lot of it had to do with the environment that we're in. Like opening a business during a pandemic is, you can't really align that with opening a business not during a pandemic. So I see the biggest struggles is just keeping people interested and getting business to come in the door, and also trying to make the margins work of only takeout.
Yeah. And you guys are using talk, right? Do you use it?
We use talk at first, and then we're not using talk anymore.
Okay.
We
You
use
guys
it for
u-
like special events and stuff like that, so
Uh-huh.
we keep them on retainer. But we use Upserve.
Upserve? And what's that?
Upserve.
Upserve is just our POS.
Okay, so everything goes straight through the POS.
Correct.
You guys use Uber Eats or any of those
Yep.
things? Okay.
Yeah, we
okay.
Uber Eats, Grubhub, and
So that's so hard.
DoorDash.
That's so hard with the margins because they take so much.
30.
Yeah. I mean, so it's gotten
Shit.
better. They were taking 30%.
Yeah.
But then they made a state mandate that says delivery services can only take 15%.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
It's like
It's
one of those
kinda
things.
greedy.
It was very greedy.
Yeah.
I met the founder of Grubhub like 15 years ago, right when he started. He was a young guy. I was talking to him because I was starting a business at the time. And he was like, the whole business model was based on we capture the credit card. So we just get the processing fee of the credit card. And nowadays, 15 to 30%, they're taking so much.
So
That's
much.
30% of revenue.
That's probably your margin. My guess,
30% of the
most businesses
revenue?
have a 30% margin.
That's the problem, is that all of a sudden we have this thing that we're serving. We want to do it through a delivery service because we have to, because we're in Chicago
Yes.
Yeah.
and it snows.
Yes.
So people don't want to leave their house. Also, we're in a pandemic where everything is delivery. I think
Yeah.
that's why they put it down to 15%, because they
had
realized
to.
that everybody was
And
using
I think
it.
15 is even egregious.
so
like for
aggressive.
what they're doing, because they're charging fees on top of that. That's the thing. It's not like that's the only money they're capturing.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It is what it is, man. I mean, like we have to do it, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
But
Have
the
you-
problem
So-
is we have to. in order to meet our own margins, we have to up our prices to put them on Grubhub.
So that's a great message. So for everyone listening, if you're ordering off one of those sites, all you are is increasing their prices that you're paying.
Yeah.
And you should just go to Upserve Direct. What's the best way for someone to order from you?
Go to our website, go to our Instagram, and go to the link tree in our bio and on Instagram, and just click. It literally says, this is the cheapest way to order.
Okay.
I love that so much.
That makes sense.
Nobody ever had, I've never seen that
No,
or
and
read that.
we're all around the same age, and everyone our age is just jumping on Grubhub immediately or going on Uber Eats. I'm
Oh,
like, can
I
you chill
don't.
for a minute?
Yeah.
Like, just chill. Let's order from the company we want to get
And-
the food from.
Yeah, it's
And I also have seen lately from even interviewing other businesses that they just hire their own delivery person.
Yeah,
Remember
we've
we
seen a
saw
lot of that. People are just getting their own delivery person like it's a pizza place.
Well, we
Like
thought
old-
about doing
old
that.
school
So
idea.
The
Three
problem with that
places so
is
far, yeah.
and our intention was to do that so that we can employ more people. The problem is, with the small amount of people that we would employ, the insurance plan to cover them would be outrageous.
Astronomical.
It's insane. If you want to pull out an insurance plan for 3 people for a delivery,
So maybe minimum order of 3 to 5, maybe.
there's no way we'd be able to cover
Yeah.
the
You
cost
just can't
of
have that person on.
It's
Gotcha.
impossible.
Yeah.
So we'd have to either do it where we have people doing it without insurance, which is not smart, or I would have to deliver it myself and just figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And
And that's not going to happen.
there was just a lot of different things that all compiled that it's like, okay, this is getting pretty impossible.
Gotcha.
So we were talking offline a little bit about the concept of this and how it came about. Can you talk about that again? Like, what is Big Kids?
We
Him.
all of us, yeah, no, it's all of us. Like we're all at pretty much the same age, and we all got out of the kind of the part of the industry that we were in. We wanted to go to a place that we could be happy. We all love sandwiches. We all love to have fun, and we wanted to open up something that reminded us of the things that we like, and bringing back like a kind of a 90s nostalgia, because that's what like we can all relate on that.
Yeah,
on
that was so
plane.
smart. That's the smartest theme I've ever seen. Because not just from a taste, but visually, when I saw the Stussy S and I saw the High C, I'm like, I'm already there. I'm already 10 years old again.
Yeah.
Let me in. I want some. Whatever you're selling, give it to me.
Yeah, it's great. And like, and we're gonna have, when people come in, we're gonna have like a TechTech skate park set up.
I
for people
saw
to
this
sit at
right
the
over
bar.
here. That's so.
Yeah.
I was already playing with it. I was trying to do kick flips.
He looked really
Here,
happy.
come here, look at this.
We don't have any of the good TechTechs here right now. We've lost all the trucks.
I thought this was a bra first. No. So who created this?
Oh, these are Stefan. We've all like, sometimes we have to go to Target to like get random things, and sometimes we come back with toys. So we got a lot of Nerf guns. We got a lot of stuff. Come back with like a couple new things to put over here.
I love this one so much.
The trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trolls are 90s. There's just 90s nostalgia everywhere.
We'll sit down people at the bar and like give people a Nintendo Power to read,
Oh,
or a
God.
Goosebumps book, or
Goosebumps. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So was Big Kids, was that a name for something else? Like, you didn't make that hat.
Yeah, we did.
You made that hat?
Yeah.
So was that like the original logo?
Big Kids
or-
hat too.
I know you made that hat.
Yeah.
I figured that came from somewhere else.
So this came from my partner Mason at Turkey and the Wolf. When we opened up, he sent us all hats.
Let's see.
Okay.
He had them made and sent them to us.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
those are like collector's items.
Yeah,
like
so
a few of those.
we only have the ones that for the staff of those ones. So those ones are pretty
That's
special.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So who made that?
my sister,
Your sister?
the other one up there, Maddie's sister made that.
Really? Wow.
Like I said, people just keep bringing us stuff. Like we have a lot of people that come back a couple times a week, and
Just to drop there.
yeah, and people see like our presence on social media, and that like we're just a bunch of dudes. we're not doing anything except for being ourselves, and people can relate to that.
Yeah.
And they bring us gifts, and we give them food, and it's cool.
How do you guys source your ingredients? How do you find those things?
Well, it depends on what we want to use. Like right now, obviously in the wintertime, we don't have access to getting things from farms, but he has a good friend that he used to work at the last restaurant that he was at that's actually running is it like a co-op?
Yeah, she's starting a farm business out of a pre-existing farm essentially that she knows. So she has like a plot on that farm where she can harvest, grow, and distribute her own stuff. And
Wow.
it's called CSA, so it's community supported agriculture, where people can purchase a season's worth of produce from her. So basically, you pay at the start of the season. You pick up produce once a month throughout the season, depending on what is looking good from week to week.
So it really
Where is
depends on
that?
the season.
So they're
It's a couple hours south.
yeah, it's at Kankakee, right?
Oh,
We're gonna operate as a pickup location for them.
Oh, so that's
So-
cool. So people
yeah,
can
so-
pick up whatever they order from here.
Yeah.
I've noticed it could have existed before, but during COVID, I've noticed a lot of businesses collaborating. Be like, hey, we have this space. If we can bring someone else in here that can do something else, we can
Oh,
share
yeah.
these expenses.
Yeah.
And it seems to be how a lot of people are surviving. And it's so smart. It probably should have been like that the whole time.
Yeah, it's when everybody's struggling, then everybody kind of bands together to help each other.
Yeah.
For the most part.
huh.
So yeah, I mean that's gonna be really cool. And then we also have access to this new cool farm, and like just coming from like fine dining background, we also already have relationships with all the farmers that are around the area, the tri-state area, and or we
Wow.
use purveyors that we've gotten from relationships that we've built in our previous restaurants.
So this is farm to table.
Oh, I wouldn't call it farm to table.
No.
No.
What's the technical definition from table
Yeah.
for you?
I don't know. Whatever. Something so you can tell people you did that so you look cool.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
People
that's
that do farm to table don't say they're farm to table. They just do it because it's right.
Okay.
I'm not saying that we do that. I'm saying that like places like Lula,
Yeah.
they're not going to sit there and stroke off the farm that they or like get like better recognition because of these farms that they're using. They're just doing it because it's good to support local farmers and because the produce is good. And they don't want to support these big giant corporations that are giving you vegetables that probably aren't very good for you.
That is so funny because even from a consumer's perspective, we've gone out to eat at a specifically farm to table advertised restaurant, and we were disappointed. What did it taste like?
Yeah. Like, what's the difference
Where's
here?
my MSG here? I want to sprinkle some on. Like,
Right.
That shouldn't be why you go to a restaurant. You should go
Yeah.
to the restaurant because of the overall theme, and the overall theme shouldn't be farm to table.
I think the term farm to table is also very outdated.
Yeah.
It's like
Overused.
in the early 2000s and late 90s, like farm to table was like when it started. It was literally like people, they would use as much as they could from these local farms. Now it's just become so commonplace.
Yeah.
I don't think you got to advertise for that.
There
It's like
was-
saying you're using filtered water.
There's some woman who started in Berkeley, California. I think she was the first farm to table person. That was like the
Oh,
whole
Alice
concept.
Waters.
Alice Waters.
That's who Paul Kahn trained under. My mentor trained under Alice Waters.
Okay. Yeah, she started that whole thing, right? The whole phenomenon, and now it's gotten out of control. But yeah, that's really cool. Where do you get the bread?
The bread?
Yeah.
Right now we're using a company called Toronto.
Yeah.
And a bakery called Public and Quality Bread.
Okay.
oh yeah, they're so good.
But
Yeah.
it's one of those things like we'll go to the local panderia down the street on Pulaski and La Canasta, and we'll get like tolero rolls from them if we want to run a special
nice.
sandwich on that, or like anytime we see something that we like, try to support that business.
Oh, that's awesome.
How hard is it to do this? Now that you're in a different capacity than you were before, like what's your role now?
I'm one of these guys. We all do the same things.
Okay.
Like we come into work and do the prep, and then cook the food, then hang out, try to organize ways to stay relevant and stay busy in the community. And I think it's equally hard for everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
How about the bookkeeping and more the administrative side? Who handles that?
Well, as far as bookkeeping, it's like there's different aspects of bookkeeping. So like Stefan does all the payroll.
Okay.
So we make sure that everybody is getting paid for the hours that they're working.
So you guys don't even have a payroll company. You guys are handling that as well.
No, he puts it into our payroll
Got it,
company,
okay.
but we still have to make sure that we're monitoring that so that it goes into them, and that we have like systems right now that we take 18% of every single check to go back into the pockets of the employees.
Okay.
Because hourly wages are not enough. And minimum wages
How
are
did
not
that come
enough.
about? How did you decide on that number?
It's 18% is usually what gratuity would be, like an average gratuity.
Got it.
And the tipping system is kind of janky, where you can't really trust, and like,
Oh.
hospitality employees don't make enough money.
Yeah.
Especially people in the back of the house,
Wow.
because they don't have access to those tips. So when we opened up, we knew that we wanted to do some sort of a service charge and make it mandatory. And if people don't want to pay that, it just says a lot about them.
I love that concept. I think tipping should go away altogether. It should just be something that's mandatory. And
Yeah.
do you know
And
And they
tipping?
do it in Europe.
Yeah, they do it everywhere
Asia
else.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that tipping started from basically post slavery? And so there were guys working,
that's
and
dark.
they couldn't pay them. So the patrons were encouraged to tip them.
Oh.
And so it stems from a very dark place anyway. You can look up the history on this.
Gross, right? Almost.
Yeah. And so I was talking with another owner about it, and he got rid of it altogether. And he told me off camera that was the reason. And so when people complain about it, he sends them that article. Because he's had Yelp reviews.
Love
people,
that.
Yeah, he was like, we've had Yelp reviews when people bring up the tipping and that they don't like paying the service charge. He sends them the article of the whole understanding, the whole origin.
It's one of those
tipping.
things, like if you're going to complain about it, then just don't order.
Don't come here.
Yeah,
I agree.
Just don't order.
I also
Yeah.
saw.
Nobody's forcing you to order
If you can't afford that, understand that's the whole package.
Yeah,
you don't walk into a restaurant and don't pay your
then
tip.
the people that are like, well, I don't think that I should be responsible for them paying their employees good. It's like, what are you
talking about?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's like, that's mean.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So that's just okay? They're just providing a service that you should have nothing to do with. You should only be worried about what you get from
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
That's
not
a
how,
pig
that's not how.
mentality.
Yeah, that's not how people should be.
Because my
Yeah.
guess is without liquor, this is already hard for you guys to manage.
Yeah.
Because your
Yeah.
lease here is not cheap.
No.
No. You mind telling me what it is?
I'd rather not.
That's okay. That's okay. I know it's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. And so you have to cover that. You got to pay all these guys. And how many to-go drinks are you guys having? Like, is that good part of the menu right now?
No,
the orders?
we started off with a very, very zealous bar model, and we weren't selling a lot of to-go cocktails. Nobody's selling a lot of to-go cocktails because you think about it, you go to a bar, you have a drink.
Yes.
You order another drink because you're at the bar.
Oh my God.
People, if they order any, they're ordering one drink to have at their house. It's like,
It's kind of like, what's the point?
it's not the same, and
Yeah.
exactly, and like we were spending a lot of time, and like we're getting back into it now because the weather's getting nicer, and now we're going to start getting walk-up business.
Yeah.
People
That's
can
great.
go to the park and have drinks. So Stefan's like working on like a nicer weather cocktail situation, which I think we think is going to do
That'll
really
pick
good.
up. You'll have so many
Totally.
people around here. And what's the price point on those?
Anywhere from what are we doing for these cocktails? $10?
10 for single serving cocktails and 19 for double serving cocktails.
So totally reasonable. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be anywhere else. I'm not going
It's
to
actually
avoid that.
hard. I mean, because it's hard to cost out cocktails now because you have to factor in your bottle and your cap and your sticker and things are like costs that didn't exist before. So, but we're trying to keep it at a low price point just because.
Like for perspective, the bottles that you use are usually about $1 a piece.
Just for the bottle.
Just for the bottle. So that before the
bottles, yeah.
so before you even
It's a lot.
put any alcohol into it, it already cost us $1
Yeah.
for one cocktail.
And the
What do those
time
look
that
like? Can we
he's
see one?
squeezing.
One of those bottles?
I have them downstairs at the moment.
already
They're essentially
filled?
5-ounce glass bottles, and then I have plastic bottles that are 12 ounces.
Okay. So you're gonna have a walk up door, window, or just people just gonna come in?
We got it right here.
Got it
So
right
pretty
here.
much how we set it up is we're gonna get rid of this vestibule thing as soon as the weather gets nicer, and then we set up a table right here and we open the door so people can't come in, and then we just have a person standing here at a safe distance
Got it.
taking an order, and that's also where we do our passing back and forth of the food.
Okay. You guys have so you have another door there for emergencies and all that kind of thing.
That's pretty much how we get in, and that's how deliveries get in, and then this is where people can order from. It's like right on the corner, comes from right where the streets intersect, and it's just the easiest spot to see this is who we are.
So I know indoor dining is open, or you guys are just choosing not to open it?
Yes.
Okay.
Indoor dining is open at a certain capacity, and I think that the reasoning that a lot of people aren't doing indoor dining right now is because they chose to open it back up before they made it a priority for industry workers to get vaccinated. So a lot of people, they have to it's either go back to work and be at risk of getting a life-threatening disease or collect unemployment. Where it's like, okay, I'm just going to continue to collect unemployment because I'd rather not risk my life for something that I'm not going to make enough money off anyways, since not a lot of people can come in. They kind of did that a little backwards as far as I'm concerned.
That's a great
Yeah.
point. I never thought about it that way because you're right. Not all places are opening, and they are putting everyone at risk.
Everybody's at risk, and like the people that are going out to eat are putting themselves at risk, but the people that are employed there are being put at risk.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've not thought about that either.
Yeah. I know you guys just opened. Have you ever thought about other locations?
oh no,
No. You're like, no, we don't even know if this works yet.
no. It's like, and also I don't want to dilute the idea.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that if you want to come here, you come here.
I like that.
That's good.
We're not planning on taking over the world. We just want to have a good time.
What else does anyone know about your shop?
We love dogs.
Okay.
Dogs are great. Got 2 dogs. We love everything. We love everything. That's what everybody should know.
Tell me a great story from your old days working in different places.
A great story.
Yeah, tell me a great story.
About what?
I don't know. Something crazy has had to happen. Something interesting. Something that give people something to laugh at.
What was the craziest thing that happened?
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
know. As a chef.
Being in the back of the house as a chef.
Like, I can't believe. What the hell?
Something went wrong, something went well.
Yeah.
Standing on service.
It was so smooth for him.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's a miracle that I never lost my job when I was at Blackbird.
Or a finger.
Or finger. I mean, I've lost parts of fingers.
You chopped them off?
No, just like corners and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I have one of those little scars right here from doing
Look.
that. She just
I have
did
the
that
exact
last
same
week.
one.
Yeah, look at that.
Let me see.
Hold on. Look at this.
It's the exact
Same
scar.
scar. She's gonna have one soon too.
Yeah.
I guess crazy things happen. I don't think that I can pinpoint one thing that's crazier than the other. It's got to work with a lot of really cool chefs, and yeah, and now I get to have my own sandwich shop, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
It is
Stoked
so
about
cool.
that.
Thank you for doing this. We're excited
Yeah.
to try some of these, and
Yeah.
I love the place. I can't wait till you guys are at full capacity.
Yeah, right on.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.